is by the type of the data and the data sets that the model is to sort of first think about how do they or the open source models offer to them off the shelf to what they actually need, promotions and commerce fraud preventions and so on and so forth. This is this concentric circle called the within the Telangana government, and standing here, and we are pretty much part and parcel of this ecosystem and would love to contribute.
Thank you so much, Mr. Director. May I invite Mr. VP and Center Head Infosys Impact to the Global Economy, presented by Professor Krishnamurthy Subramanian, Executive Director at the International Monetary Fund. He's a professor at the Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, from the once-in-a-century COVID crisis with strong microeconomic fundamentals. Please give it up for Professor Krishnamurthy Subramanian. Sure. So he's going to join us on the screen. Greater executive Professor Krishnamurthy. So in the meantime, I really appreciate your patience and thank you.
Sharing my thoughts on topic AI and how it can transform not only India but also the economy but also the economy. I think if you had asked me about a month back what would be my view of AI, it would have been very different to what I'm going to share today. A month back, Indian AI model should also be worked on. I think very soon I expect Indian AI models also to be very good. And I think therefore the opportunity that India has is significant. I just want to share three areas, examples where I think India can benefit significantly from the use of AI. Firstly is on your languages. And I think India, given the number of languages that we have that we speak, 22 languages just in the schedule of the constitution. Now, use of AI can really help our talent, especially in the more rural areas and small towns, those that may not have adequate facility in speaking English, but are very smart. If you look at someone like who is really recruiting talented kids in the line of and like that, actually the use of AI can actually really help kids can, for instance, speak in a language that they are very familiar with, kids and they can speak, and translation can happen immediately in I think this is something that will really equalize opportunity for a lot of the youth in India who are in terms of the conceptual understanding, but may not have as much felicity in English. So I think that's the first opportunity that I really see, and I hope that there will be a lot of platforms that will come up that will be able to do this translation instantaneously. And really provide opportunities to our a couple of that's one key application that can really first enable talent to come to the fore in the markets. A couple of more that I want to really illustrate that. Let's say the financial sector. I think here the opportunity is enormous because if you look at the ratio of private credit to GDP in the Indian economy, the ratio of private credit to GDP is about 58%, and it's about 60% now. 58% was in 2020. It goes to 60%. I haven't checked the very recent data, but I think I expect not change very much. The global average for private credit to GDP, on the other hand, is 150%. This is about 60% versus 150%. So India has to move significantly in providing credit, and even at 58% as private credit, private credit is credit that is given to individuals and firms. That's the average, and that does actually mask that the fact that large sections of the Indian population still do not get credit to be able to go and fructify the opportunities and ideas in businesses. And this is an aspect that I think AI can really play a significant role in, because so far a lot of the credit in India has been actually based primarily on the data. Many examples only using data. You have land, you have a factory, things that you can put up in classes, you can put up a laptop, those are used to basically provide what I know. But India 16, 17, only and the kind of coffee, what it is, and the piece, we have to expect our change, we back, we know, 40 back, now, these businesses actually use, clearly they use Google Pay or Paytm, and so, when I was done that, and I was into the government, I was noticing that, we actually was having sort of, because I speak and tell me that, because of the, digital economy, because of digital payments, he's now knowing how to happen, because he doesn't have to waste his time, having to set out cash, or to get back money. Not only that, but the benefit has also calculated the supply chain. If the milk supplier actually come and take the milk in the morning, it will be earlier than the cash payment, that milk supplier will have to come back in the evening in order to actually get payment for the milk. Now, because of digital payment, actually this coffee maker, tea maker actually so can pay him for digital payment. Now, think about actually what cash flow is generating this particular seller of coffee and tea, etc. Now, he can actually use the data for payment to be able to go and approach the bank for a loan, because he can show his record of, I actually earn $30,000 a month. This is my actual receipts, this is my payment, and that's how I do. And using that data, it actually can really get good. And here's where I think it's important now to reserve back to really think carefully about any cash flow lending for asset creation, not for consumption, but for asset creation and for new business generation. This is and here we are really very powerful in assessing the risk of borrowers, because the borrowers are actually outside the borrower system. A second opportunity that I see is in healthcare. And India actually has been one of the countries where actually alternative health systems are used significantly, whether it's Ayurveda, whether it's homeopathy, whether it's Unani, and many times these alternative medical systems actually diagnose is very difficult. Being able to diagnose the problem very well, very important. For instance, I actually consulted Ayurvedic practitioners who would see your nine, basically look at the nine and realize that actually so what is the problem. Now, only a very experienced Ayurvedic practitioners can actually do that. But I think using your artificial intelligence and now I think instruments can be developed that can actually diagnose the problem. This is the area where there is significant opportunity to be able to so healthcare is a very looks at evaluating the arithmetic skills and language skills among schools in India. That is something that is very new. There's still more work to be done, and I think that regulatory education can actually be very useful, because even today, for instance, some portion of kids, even if studying in class 8, actually cannot do arithmetic at the class 2 or class 3 level. Similarly, in class 7, down from class 8 till class 2, class 3, I think there are many people who actually have not learned the arithmetic or language at the level that they are studying to begin. And here's where I think remedial education needs to be tailored to the particular to the paper, actually how far it is reaching in a particular area of which may be that, let's say, to the kid, maybe does arithmetic very well, but does not maybe understand how to do that. If it is let's say mathematics, maybe class 7. So now leads and solve these problems, actually solve India's problems at India's scale and at Indian price points. I think that's the message that I want to make. There are many problems. So once again, solve India's problems at India's scale and what I hope you understand India's scale. Solving something for basically people is something that actually India not probably a very large number. But 100,000 people, 1 lakh people still just a drop in the ocean in India. Therefore, these problems need to solve at a gigantic scale that we, so I think that is something important. At the same time, I think that's point. And here, I think, I'm sure, to do the rocket launches at a fraction of the price basically of what NASA. So here, as a daily request, come on and help me. I know I have worked with the government and I tell you that the problem solving requires entrepreneurs and well-creators to take that risk and really work on solving these problems. We are a phenomenal opportunity and I really hope that all of you actually such challenges, such passion you can do this. There's absolutely no positive impact. Enormous talent, enormous amount of passion. So I would say that don't grab these opportunities and are recruiting India. I expect India to actually be a 50 plus to $55 trillion economy by 2027. So such an economy requires our entrepreneurs to go and grab these opportunities. I wish you all the very best for the entrepreneurs. Go and help yourself by solving Indian problems and leading to a successful nation. Thank you.
His vision in a 15-minute talk cannot be sufficed. So if you want to read and know more about Dr. Subramanian's vision, you can purchase his book called India at 100. Yeah? Much, Doctor. And now we move.
So, there's a full house of Dr. Subramanian. Firstly, Dr. Subramanian is going live from Washington, D.C. It is not only humanly appreciated art, but thank you so much for taking this time out for India, for Kerala and Hyderabad. Doctor, before we give you a brief goodbye, before we see you in India, I just wanted to talk about and the whole group and the conference is seeing the group India 100. There is also certain copies circulating in the room, and there was some very curious one question that came up. I will talk about it and want to have one insight of yours. You have thought in your book about the top 5 figures of growth and how those are worked upon. It can take our country to a different level. Would you want to shed that light on those top 5 figures with the women after their
So much, thanks for sharing that with the audience. It's a book of ambition. I must say, I always believe the difference between a cynic and visionary is that a cynic looks for a challenge and the opportunity, and a visionary looks for an opportunity and a challenge. that family is socially and economically included, in society, and similar to actually want such a similar dream to be actually fructified by scores of other countries in India who are doing that's the second pillar, social and economic inclusion. Third is actually something that I alluded to in my remarks, which is wealth creation, think about wealth creation as a boon, not as a necessary need. And I think this is something, many of you might have noticed last week, I was at the Times of India as well, really making the case for this. That's the third. But then wealth creation is not to any issue. Creation is ethical management of wealth creation. The virtuous cycle triggered by capitalism. If you look at countries that are grown at a fast pace, whether it's China or Japan or East Asian economy, they've all done on the back of virtuous cycle triggered by capitalism. These are the four pillars if we are working on these, India can actually be a $55 billion economy that are running shoulders with the largest economy in the world when we are not very far from the largest economy. That's the kind of opportunity that India has. And for that we have to go at 20%, and that's why entrepreneurs like the ones that gather in our platform actually are really critical to really find this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I know that it's not enough to take a part of your mind in these 25 minutes, but I would encourage everyone in the room, if we want to envision India as a country, there is this book I personally like, and I have gone through this 6 times because it also gave me images of where all of those vectors are, what as a nation we can think, and as Doctor says, as entrepreneurs, where did those levers for every entrepreneur would be. Dr. Subramanian, it's a privilege and honor to have you here with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we now move to our next session, which is a fireside chat celebrating entrepreneurship made in heaven, made for the world. May I invite on stage moderator Flight Lieutenant Bipin Pendyala, Vice President Hysea and GM Appen AI. He comes with executive leadership and entrepreneurial experience. Prior to joining Appen, he has worked with People Services, Invenio, LSI, CA Technologies, among others. Not to forget Indian Air Force. His entrepreneurial stints include co-founding Suvitas Holistic Healthcare and Sleep Life. He is a partner director at IKEVA Knowledge and Venture Advisory Services and serving on the board of directors of few venture capitalist funded startups. And to join him, may I invite Mr. Vikram Bhupala, founder, CEO, NephroPlus. Mr. Vikram, under his leadership and vision of redefining healthcare delivery in India, NephroPlus became Asia's leading dialysis network of over 460 centers in 280 cities across 4 countries. Previously, he has worked with McKinsey and Abbott Healthcare. Please give it up for Mr. Vikram and Mr. Vipin.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much and good evening everyone. So just before we get into the conversation, we have Vikram here, and thank you Vikram for joining us.
Welcome.
I've had the opportunity and luxury to know Vikram for quite some time, and been a pleasure to watch him building NephroPlus over the last 15 years, right? So what I'll try and do in the next few minutes is try to bring out so all of you can learn about who Vikram is as a person, what he is as a manager, how he is as an inspirational leader, and most importantly, how is he a successful entrepreneur. So let me kind of ease him into the conversation with a few quick softballs, so to say. So Vikram, what makes you...
Maybe 200 years back, I'm a little bit nationalist. 200 years back, maybe try to control East India Company.
Do you like to cook? Do you like to cook or eat, or both?
Mostly eating.
Yeah, wonderful. So we're good. I guess all of you know by now why we're good friends, right? Both of us love to eat, not necessarily cook. Okay. If you have a pet, what would be a pet's perception of you as a person?
Very busy, but whenever he gives time, he gives 100%.
Wonderful. So that's kind of softballs. Now let's kind of look at the more core of the conversation we want to have. So Vikram, if you were to step back and let's say the 2006, 7, 8 time frame when you're ideating about NephroPlus, what was really the spark, or what was it that really, like an event or a person or a specific situation that inspired you to start NephroPlus?
So I wanted to be an entrepreneur since my undergrad at IIT Kharagpur, but didn't know how to start, didn't know what to start, which field to start, and so on. And then I got this advice that, hey, if you do an MBA, you will get financial toolkit. So, and I wanted to go into a top business school, and to get into top business school, you need a couple of years of solid work experience. So I worked as a business analyst, and then I went to University of Chicago. And then I realized, after my MBA, during my MBA, I realized I have a $100,000 tuition loan. So to clear that loan, I had to work for a couple of years. I worked at McKinsey & Company as a strategy consultant for 2 years in the US, paid my tuition loan, and then moved completely to Hyderabad. Because I was 32 years old at that time, and I realized if I have kids, if my opportunity cost is increasing, I'm getting very comfortable with a high-profile job like McKinsey, and so then I realized it's now or never. I have to make the move. I have to cut the cord, move back. And when I was moving back, my thesis was India needs a lot of help in the diabetes and hypertension ecosystem, because at that time there were 53 million diabetics, 80 million hypertensives. Now that number is 80 million diabetics and 200 million things that we can help solve for in that ecosystem. I had 4 ideas. One of the idea was dialysis network like NephroPlus. When I moved back to India and a lot of doctors, hospital owners, I was very clear that I would be in healthcare in this. Who also is a resident of Hyderabad, and he has been on dialysis at that time for 13 years. So when I met Kamal, I realized that among the 4 ideas, dialysis network was the best idea, because a customer being a co-founder, you will understand the customers better than anybody else in the world. So I thought that would be our unique edge to succeed, and we are lucky that it actually has panned out. But at that time, we were very naive, romantic, foolish, and so on and so forth. It just worked out that way.
So when I started Suitors Healthcare a while ago, I found it tremendously difficult to translate from engineering and tech. So what was your learning challenges, or what was it exciting about moving to a complete new sector like, healthcare?
Yeah, it's quite a humbling experience, actually. But it's also very refreshing, because most of the time, if doctors had founded NephroPlus, it would be much more like what is happening already. Whereas we as engineers and consultants approached it as a very, very, white paper approach, wherein we did not have the baggage from the past. We looked at what are the problems in the ecosystem, and we just applied very basic operational thinking, first principles thinking to solve these problems. So it's actually quite refreshing to not have baggage at times. And I think that's one of the main reasons of scale-up of NephroPlus. Second thing, as I said, it's humbling, because dealing with doctors' egos. Your wife is a doctor, Bipin, I'm sure you understand this. Dealing with hospitals, hospital partners, and so on. Quite a humbling experience. It's not for the weak, it's not for the faint-hearted. You need to adapt. You need to become very, very humble to really do business in healthcare.
So one thing, Vikram, we have a set of corporate execs and a set of, startup entrepreneurs out here. And I think everybody would definitely agree that being an entrepreneur, starting a startup and then making a success, it is itself a very, very, very challenging task, right? Now, added to that, when you start in NephroPlus, there frankly speaking, the category of daycare dialysis did not exist anywhere, right? I mean, not just in India, I don't think there was any existence of a category across the world. So you took on a double challenge of not just starting with a new enterprise, but actually creating a category. And how was that challenge compounding in the initial years for you?
It was quite tough. Honestly, Indian market did not accept the standalone dialysis model. Our first couple of clinics, 2 clinics were standalone, but the Indian market was not ready at that time. It's just getting ready now after 15 years. But then, being an entrepreneur, you have to adapt. You have to be nimble. You have to sort of pivot to a new model. When a hospital asked us to manage their dialysis clinic, about 100 kilometers away, there is a hospital in Mehboob district. And they heard about the good work that we are doing clinically in NephroPlus. They wanted us to come and run their dialysis program. So we said, okay, we started out as outpatient model, but the market is not giving huge response. The patients who were coming to us were very happy, but not too many patients were aware about the standalone outpatient model. So when the hospital asked us, we thought it was interesting, let's try it out, and then that model really took off. The hospitals, now we run dialysis for about 400 hospitals in India. Many of them corporate hospitals like Care Hospitals in Hyderabad, Max, Medanta, Fortis, Paras, Sayadri, all the top tertiary care networks. We have partnered with hospitals and many more across the country. So as an entrepreneur, it's quite challenging in the beginning, but if we keep our eyes and ears open and see what the market is asking us and then being able to pivot, because many times you know the problems in an ecosystem and you would approach it in a certain way. But as an entrepreneur, you also have to be flexible with your approach to the problem. One good quote I heard is, be stubborn about the vision, but be flexible with the models, right? So if we can adapt and see which way the market is going, because educating the market is a very expensive thing. It's a very, very tough, costly affair. So if you can adapt to what the market is asking you, I think there is a lot of juice in that.
You bring up a very interesting point, Vikram. See, in the startup world, it's quite often that people talk about the agility and the importance of pivoting regularly, correct? And I think quite often there is this misconception that pivoting means that I'm doing A today, I'll do B tomorrow, and do C tomorrow, just because I want to success, right? Whereas you kind of, contrasted that, saying that models you can evolve, but the core has to be same. So what are your thoughts in terms of the prevalent notion that pivoting is extremely important to be successful?
I think, as I said, we have to be stubborn about the vision, little bit stubborn, because if you, for example, our vision was to enable dialysis patients lead a very normal life in India when we started. And how we serve those patients, whether it's outpatient model or a hospital-based model or a government public-private partnership model, that's the approach, that's the model. Many times we have to be stubborn about the vision, because if you keep on changing the problem statement, you're not going deep enough into the problem. It's like doing a PhD in any problem, right? PhDs take 3, 4, 5 years to do the thesis. But if you keep on changing your vision, because, it's appearing little bit tough, then you are becoming jack of all trades. You're not going deep enough into any specific problem that you're solving. And ultimately, entrepreneurship is about picking that one problem that you are very, very passionate about, and you're willing to go super deep, you're willing to put in 5, 6, 7 years for it to give the feedback, right? If you keep on changing the vision or the problem that you're solving, then it's not fun. But if you go deep in terms of learning, in terms of understanding the insights, but play around with various pilots in terms of models and so on, the probability of success significantly increases. Your co-founders also, who have joined you on a particular vision, the entire leadership team will feel that, okay, this team is just looking for any problem to solve, not very, very passionate about a specific problem to solve. So it affects the team dynamics as well.
Wonderful. That's very insightful, Vikram. But having said that, right, you stuck with the core problem and the purpose of Nephroplus, and you did it, quite well continuously. But what is interesting is that if I look at today, you're not only kind of built to a scale in India, but you explored in different markets. Now you're existing in Middle East, you are in Central Asia and Southeast Asia. And each of these regions have a very different dynamic in terms of the market, the customer, the regulatory affairs. So how are you sort of adapting yourself, and how are you enabling your team to adapt to the nuances of different cultures, different markets, ecosystems across all these regions?
Yeah, it's been quite a learning experience for me, to be honest. India, because we are born and brought up here, we understand the dynamics. India, again, Telangana is different, UP is different, Delhi is different, Assam is different, Maharashtra is different, right? India is also a continent. It took, the first 10 years was adapting our model issues to different geographies in India, which gave us the muzzle to adapt to different cultures, different vernacular languages. That actually helped us to figure out how to run business in other countries, but also there is no other healthcare company in India which is doing so much international business as us right now. We are the only one from India who is doing this much business from international. It's again a leap of faith that we can do it, and I created a completely separate international business unit so that India business division, I've created a CEO for the international business, CEO for the India business, and the international business I was involved because Uzbekistan, the language is Russian, the regulatory system is completely different. So that got these international opportunities like Philippines. How do you acquire companies in Philippines? How do you partner with government in Uzbekistan? How do you joint venture partner in Saudi Arabia? All these are very, very interesting things for me, but we have to adapt different countries or different geographies. We can't go with a one size. It's again the entrepreneurial instincts that you have. Okay, in this geography this can work, in this geography this can work, and your opportunities as well. For example, when we went to Uzbekistan, while we did not need IFC, which is World Bank Venture Arm, is already a shareholder. My bet was Uzbekistan have to really look at aggressively growing different parts, different regions, different products or whatever it is, but in a calculated manner. Again, no single bet should take the company down. If it's $1 million hit or a 3, 4, 5 million hit, it becomes too big for us to absorb. So there are a lot of such learnings, incredible learnings that we have had.
Absolutely. So one other aspect, Vikram, I want to touch upon is that, a lot of time people, good friends in the investment industry, angel investors and venture capitalists and whatnot, right? But there's this, what to do, I'm going to make this success, but you know what, I need cash, so I'm going to go take this. And there's always this, in their mind, the conflict of how much control do I give away, how much money do I give away, right? And in your case, starting with International Finance Corporation, you raised multiple rounds of debt and equity. So how did you keep a fair amount of balance in terms of managing the company seamlessly and then balancing both the investment stakeholders and your customers as well?
Yeah, that's a very, very tough question, Bipin. I think venture capital, private equity, depending on your business requirements, then you can bootstrap, you can scale it up, and so on and so forth. You need not raise venture capital, right? If it needs a lot of capex investments, like in healthcare, we have to invest in facilities, medical equipment, and so on and so forth. Raising capital. And one of my University of Chicago professors, Steve Kaplan, he said 100% of $1 million. Right? That sort of stuck with me and said, okay, I can dilute. I've done 6 rounds of private equity, 2 rounds of angel before that. I'm a sort of a minority shareholder in my own company. But if the pie is large enough, 10%, 20% of a very large pie is also huge for individuals, right? And ultimately, what gets you going, if your vision is to make impact, for example, our vision is to make impact in the dialysis world, as long as the impact is growing and my net worth or wealth or whatever you want to call it as a byproduct is growing, I had no qualms in diluting the equity. Because ultimately, I knew that investors would need my support, my help to scale up this company to the next level. Investors don't know how to run businesses. If they know how to run businesses, they would be running businesses. They would not be in investing game. So the entrepreneur, if they are confident, they can raise rounds of capital, but need not compromise on the vision, the growth, the speed. For example, I've said no to multiple acquisitions that my investor members were very excited because they wanted a higher growth rate and they were looking at an exit in a couple of years. But investors are guests in our journey. They are just temporary guests, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But we have to run the company lifelong. So I never allowed investors to get involved in the core operations, core clinical side. Of course, there is a quarterly board meeting, monthly MIS that's being sent and so on. But there is no free lunch. If you get investors into your cap table, there will be questions. They will ask you questions. You have to answer those questions in a very, very smart way, right? It's not for everybody. I've met founders who hate answering to anybody. The founders who want absolute 100% control and so on. I wanted to do the first international project I wanted to do was in Kyrgyzstan. There was a public-private partnership project. But one of the investor board members said Kyrgyzstan is small, maybe it's not worth it, maybe it's too early for Nephroplus. Even though we could bulldoze it through, I listened to them and I paused myself and then waited for the next opportunity. So it requires a sort of patience, it requires sensibility to deal with investors who are very smart, but investors have a 4-5 year horizon. For investors, you are one of the portfolio companies. For you, your portfolio is only one company. So sometimes they may force you to take more risk than required. That's the founder's job, to resist that, to make sure that you're not taking too much risk that can compromise the very nature of the firm, right?
Wonderful.
It's very nuanced.
Yeah. Just a couple of rapid fire questions before we wrap up, right? What's your favorite book?
Favorite book is Hard Things About Hard Things, Ben Horowitz.
Any quote that you really want to quote, but that you use often?
You're only constrained by your imagination.
Is there anything that you think you would have benefited if you had learned it earlier than when you learned in life? Not really?
No, I think it just doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Okay. And finally, just last, any suggestion, recommendation, advice that you have for multiple entrepreneurs in terms of their journey to success?
No, I think we have to be really passionate about the problem that you're solving. When I started in 2010, and starting up was not sexy, right? There were not that many startups. But now it has become like a big theme. And many people think it's a very quick way to make money, to create wealth. Entrepreneurship is incredibly hard, right? It will twist you, turn you into so many dimensions. You have to be really passionate and play the long game rather than short game of few years, 5 years, and then selling it out. But if you can focus on the long game, don't think that investors are always aligned with you, because their exit horizons sometimes clash with your long-term health. But always respect their decisions, give them exits. If you start making money for your investors, your reputation in the market keeps growing and more investors will come to your cap table. So I think just being resilient, staying at it, there will be a lot of pot shots, you will fall down many times, but just being there, you will figure out how to respond to the scenario. All the best to all the aspiring entrepreneurs here.
Wonderful, Venk. Very, very thankful, Vikram, for sharing all of your insights and your journey as well. So it's essentially passion for purpose and resilience, right? That's the key takeaways for Pat. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And to felicitate our speakers, may I please invite Mr. Aditya Ramamurthy, VP Engineering Service now. And can we have the mementos, please? The mementos are presented by Hysea. And ICICI Bank. Thank you for being with us here today, sir. Thank you. We now move to our last session for the day, the power note on patient care and application of AI. The note is presented by Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, Joint Managing Director, Apollo Hospitals. Under her able stewardship, Apollo Hospitals in Hyderabad emerged as Asia's first health city, a model that also introduced multi-dimensional holistic healthcare to India. She has been working on creating an IT-enabled patient-centric operation and forging an unmatched continuum of care for patients. She has been a passionate crusader in reaching healthcare to every corner of India and the underserved regions of the world through telehealth and remote healthcare. Dr. Sangeeta leads Apollo Health and Lifestyle Limited, the company running Apollo clinics, cradles, and other retail service formats. Let's give it up for Dr. Sangeeta Reddy.
No, I don't have a presentation. Okay. Oh, this is very good. Yeah, I can. Thank you so much. Okay. Good evening. How are you all doing? Great. Okay, good to hear that. So it's a pleasure to be amongst you. I think we're here to talk about the topic per se is patients and AI applications, but I think in an environment like this, I'd really like to begin by saying a big thank you to all of you for the role you have played in transforming India. So for the technology people in our midst, it's a matter of pride that anywhere you go in the world, they say, okay, Apollo IT. I mean, they say India IT, and you've become synonymous with high quality, high engineering, high capability. So therefore, I do want to congratulate you all as a group, as a profession, and of course, Hysea as an organization for bringing this together and creating a certain energy across the ecosystem. But I think all of us are at significant crossroads, and every single sector in industry is changing and transforming. And AI is the two magic alphabet letters which are going in to say, okay, the world is changing. I could give you a bunch of statistics on the size of the market. It's estimated that the AI in healthcare market is about $10 billion now, and I say this for all our startups who are looking at this space. I saw a very exciting application on early detection of infection to give immediate solutions. But the next level of the analytics that all of you are doing and the journey that many hospitals like us are going through, starting with the digitalization, some of us began earlier, some are working on it now, from digitalization to analytics to artificial intelligence and moving on this to more detailed automation and embedded AI into work processes is really the journey that we're talking about. So this $10 billion sector today is estimated that it will go into $100 billion in the next 3 to 5 years. So this type of exponential growth, I don't think is happening in any other sector. So it's an extremely exciting time to be in healthcare and AI. I want to just share a little bit about the journey, and then based on the amount of time we have and when your minister comes, we'll see if we can field a few questions from the audience, because that's always more interesting. So basically, the first thing about AI in healthcare is the ethics of AI. So I want to share with you that we created a framework called Apollo Ease framework. We've written about this framework. It's been published in actually many areas. And Ease actually stands for the ethics, the safety, the accountability, and the transparency of using these models. We currently have about 27 AI algorithms. 19 of them are MDSAP approved. Many of them have gone through the ISO 9004 something, which is the software as a medical device, and almost all of them are in active use. So that, I think, is the big one. We launched something last week, and all of you can please, take a quick look at it, and this is called Ask Apollo. So this simple app is to demystify many of the clinical questions and to give you a single credible form of knowledge. Because today, if you start scrolling in your Instagram, somebody will tell you to take magnesium, somebody else will tell you collagen is the most important, and the third person is saying something else. It's a super confusing world out there. It's because the 3 minutes that you spend on Instagram is trying to replace the 10 years that a doctor spent learning and say, let me give you instant solutions. And while all of us agree that this is the era of instant gratification, it's important to have credible sources of knowledge to transform scientific knowledge into actionable insights. That leads me to something which, I have been saying for a few years. In 1983, when my father, who was a practicing cardiologist in the US, came back to India, this was in 70. Young daughters, all of us too young to really protest leaving the United States. He set up a practice over here. Successful practitioners. One day he saved a young man from his myocardial infarction or heart attack and recommended him to go to the US for heart surgery. Before this young man had enough time to raise $100,000, which was required for heart surgery with Dr. Denton Cooley, and to get his visa, he had a second attack and he succumbed. Looking at that, his young wife and his even younger 3- and 5-year-old children, he said, when Indian doctors are capable of curing and healing people all over the world, why don't we give them the infrastructure to do that in our country? And so that was really the birth of the concept of Apollo. We opened by the then President Gyani Zail Singh in 1983. Today, in 2024, we are 73 hospitals, 11,000 beds, another 2,000 beds which we monitor remotely, telemedicine centers all over the world, over 3,000 diagnostic collection centers, 6,400 clinics, but more pharmacies, but more significantly, it's over 100,000 people who are working towards bringing better healthcare to the country. I think, and thank you, but I think more important than the physical infrastructures is the results. So we have completed over 250,000 open heart surgeries at a 99.3% success rate, which is on par with any center in the world. And we do so at 1/10 or 1/20th of global prices. So this is what India is capable of, and all of you are doing this in the engineering field. So it's a fantastic time or an opportunity when healthcare and technology is coming together. So besides the EASE framework, we actually look at AI in healthcare in a few buckets. So number one is, what can we do to aid the clinician in diagnosis? The first and most significant thing that we are still building, it's in use, but it's not fully complete, it's not out commercially, is the clinical intelligence engine. The thought process behind this is, how do we take a young MBBS doctor or an MD and enable him to practice with the same level of capability as someone who's worked for 20 years. So we took 9 million records, went through the care protocols, captured this into the AI pathways, and built the CIE. Today, 96% of every outpatient diagnosis can be answered by the clinical intelligence engine with an 86% accuracy rate. So this is now completely, it's being used by 65% of our doctors, where if they disagree with the diagnosis, they're putting a note over there. So we're continuously feeding the engine and improving the engine, while the engine is also working on other LLMs and connecting with those LLMs to update our knowledge base. So we hope that in the next 3 to 6 months, the CIE will be ready for launch. Ask Apollo is our patient-facing intelligence engine, which has been launched already. Besides this, we're doing a range of things. Among them, in the clinical area, one of the ones that I'm personally extremely happy about in the realm of high-end medicine is the early warning symptom for critical care used in the ICU. Because this engine is predicting the onset of sepsis with a 98% accuracy 24 to 48 hours before the patient goes into clinically declared sepsis. And this is huge, because if you can detect sepsis early and start treatment, you can save lives. So like this, there are a range of things. We began our journey in AI really in a partnership with Microsoft, where we built the cardiovascular risk scoring system. Today, everyone who goes through a Pro Health or a health checkup with Apollo, we will give you a risk scoring. And people who go through the whole journey, because right now when we do our health checkup, we start with an AI-enabled lifestyle questionnaire. We auto-generate a list of customized tests for you. So everybody, one size does not fit all. In today's healthcare, you don't do packages, you ask for personalized testing. You finish your testing, you meet the doctor, he creates what's called the path to wellness. The path to wellness is handed over to a health mentor who works with you on an individualized basis, because 90% of health problems in your socioeconomic group are non-communicable disease, which is cancer, cardiac, neuro, kidney. These type of problems are lifestyle-related disorders. And lifestyle modification does not happen by 15 minutes in a doctor's office. It needs continuous, what you call nudges. So you use the nudge theory, you use reminders, you use data, you use IOMT for monitoring of parameters, and you personalize insights. I'm very happy to say, with the AICVD risk score as a base, of a study that we recently did on 45,000 patients, 87% of them had moved their high risk to medium risk or medium risk to low risk because of this behavior modification. So on one hand, we have a huge requirement to build more beds, to have more doctors, to train more nurses, to find novel medicines, new diagnostics and biomarkers. On another hand, we have a significant opportunity individuals to find the precursors of why they're getting sick. Why does my neighbor who's vegetarian and exercising, that guy got the heart attack? Why? The answer to all these, or most of these, lies in your genetic makeup. There are 3 B's which are transforming healthcare. The first B is biology. When we deciphered the genome and understood the presentation of genome and its correlation to the sequence and the presentation of disease, we began a whole new chapter of what are biomarkers, which drug. Many people used to take a BP medication. This BP medication or statins for high cholesterol to prevent from heart disease. The receptor is not available in many. And unless you do the testing, that medication is a waste. These type of changes happen because of this genetic analysis, therefore this presentation, and therefore the change in the way we handle pharmaceuticals itself. So the first B, biology. The second is a fantastic B that all of you are more aware of than me, and that is bytes. As per Moore's law, when the computational capacity of our machines got more and more, our CT scans got smarter and smarter. We went from 16-slice CT to 64-slice CT to 320 to 640. We can see more into the human being. We can analyze faster. We can use data computation and the beginning of AI and analysis of that data. So therefore, healthcare is becoming more and more precise, and it's giving birth to what is being called precision medicine. The third significant B. We can sit here in a beautiful city like Hyderabad with large hospitals and large IT companies, but what is happening to rural India? And that's where the third B comes in, which is bandwidth. Because of connectivity, telemedicine is transforming the way we are doing diagnosis in rural India, the way we're doing treatment, the way we're doing early detection, and therefore how we are saving lives. 20 years ago, we used to go in vans to rural areas to do cervical cancer screening. Cervical cancer used to be the single largest cause of death by cancer in women in India. So we would go and do these screenings. And you know what is worse than not screening a woman for cervical cancer? What's worse is knowing somebody has, but not being able to go back to that patient. And why would this happen? Because 20 years ago, we used to do the pap smear slide, bring these slides back to Hyderabad, the doctors would analyze them, and then we try to go back and say, in this mandal, in this village, Kamalamma is the patient. And most of the time you could not find, because Kamalamma had traveled from 2 villages to come for this camp. We would not even find this patient to then do the treatment. Today, when you do scanning and treatment, what do? We have the ability to have a van which has a telemedicine connect. You take this slide picture, you upload an image. From that image, you're doing immediate diagnosis. I see Dr. Rao entering, and LV Prasad is doing telemedicine to every corner in ophthalmology treatment. So there is a transformational ability which is happening because of the third B. So please remember, biology, which is looking at the genetic makeup and giving birth to precision medicine or customized, personalized medicine. Bandwidth, which is allowing us to compute a lot more and understand more, and bytes, which is computing, and bandwidth, which is enabling telemedicine. The confluence of these 3 very, very significant powers has been transforming healthcare. And now we got artificial intelligence, so that we are layering on top of this knowledge the ability to destructure complex clinical decisions and put them into pathways of repetitive use and then create some individual decision making. So this is something which has been so exciting for healthcare, not just because of the complexity, not just because of the scarcity of healthcare professionals, but because of the increasing burden of disease, because of the demographic of people getting older and therefore the disease burden increasing. And this combination of aging and disease. And on one side, you have the beauty of science giving us more and more new cures. So this is bringing what I like the best, which are the last 2 Bs, which is enhancing the speed of journey between the bench, which is the scientific lab, to the bedside, which is the patient. So bandwidth, biology, and bytes, enhancing the speed from bench to bedside. That's the journey that all of us are on. I want to end on this note just to say that this is a tremendous time that all of us are living in this world. It's a time when we can dream of a world without cancer. Could you do that 10 years ago? I don't have capability to the utmost in the service of, mankind. So let me just say that we are open to partnerships We are excited about the journeys ahead of us. We are committed to a disease-free world and a world where the population has access to healthcare of known cures and disorders. I also want to end by saying that this is a tremendous time for India because we have all the stars aligned towards the ability to do transformation. In our country, the demographic is in our favor. Our youth and our educated youth and all of you can make that difference. The economic growth that we have, if we can move 6.5% up to 8%, then we have this tremendous opportunity to really enable everybody in this country, not just to have, a square meal, but to have the ability to dream the kind of dreams that young educated people like all of you are doing. So I wish you the very best on your journey. I look forward to helping in any way to accelerate those journeys. We have a separate IT, healthcare-focused IT company. We have ARI, which is Apollo Research and Innovation, where we help startups. We have 2 hackathons a year, so I'm very happy to have any of you who have committed to this field. But most importantly, I look for partnerships. Whether we can do robotics, which is currently looking at manufacturing and, how can you make a car manufactured faster? How can you paint a road? I heard some great things. Can you bring robotics into healthcare? Can you bring AI into healthcare? Can you bring 3D printing into healthcare? Can you find a way to give me AR and VR dedicated so that we can retrain the way we treat patients or pain management with less drugs and more of using AR and VR. So there are 100 use cases in healthcare. Let's find ways to work on them together. Let me end by wishing all of you a truly fantastic career, some significant achievements in your life, but most importantly, let me end by wishing you a lot of satisfaction, because end of the day, I think it is this balance in life, it is this ability to find your purpose and fulfill that purpose, which is truly the most empowering and powerful thing. So to Prashant and everybody else in the Hysea committee, to everyone else, let me say thank you and namaste. I'll leave, right? You have your next speaker. I think I see your next speaker, so I'm not going to.
And what a fitting finale to the entire day full of sessions. We started the session with meditation and ended on a very beautiful note by Dr. Sunita Reddy of finding fulfillment and satisfaction in life.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I don't see the hands. Can I hear the sound? Yes. Louder. This goes to all of you, without further ado, because the IT Minister, sir, is already on his way and should be reaching here any minute. Can we please have the lamp lighting set up? My name is Tarusha Saxena, and on behalf of the entire team of Hysea, I welcome all of you to the 32nd Hysea National Summit Awards 2025. The event is in association with ITENC Department, Government of Telangana, and STPI Hyderabad. Prashant Nandela, President Hysea, to please come on stage. Ms. C. Kavita, Director STPI Hyderabad, to please join us on stage. I would also like to invite the guest of honor, Shri Jayesh Ranjan IAS, Special Chief Secretary, ITENC Department, Government of Telangana, to please come on stage. And our chief guest, Industry, Government of Telangana, Shri D. Sridhar Babu Garu, to please come on stage for the lamp lighting. And can we have the candle, please? A huge round of applause to welcome all our dignitaries.
Can you also invite some of our past presidents, Rajana Garu?
Our past presidents of Hysea to please join us on stage for the lamp lighting, and Mr. J.A. Chaudhary. Can we please have you join us on stage, Mr. Bharani Kumar Arol?
Rajana Garu.
Mr. Rajana Garu, please do join us on stage. Thank you so much. And may I request Kavita Garu, Shri Jayesh Ranjan, and Honorable IT Minister, sir, to please take your seats on the dais. And may I request Kavita Garu to please present the welcome bouquet to Shri Jayesh Ranjan. Ma'am, could you? Thank you, Jayesh, sir, for being with us here today. May I request Prashant Nandela to please present the welcome bouquet to our chief guest, Honorable Minister, IT and Industry, Government of Telangana, Shri D. Sridhar Babu Garu. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. Thank you so much. Kavita Garu, you can please take your seat. And now I would request President Hysea, Mr. Prashant Nandela, to please give his welcome address.
Good evening, all. How's the Josh? Good. Awesome. It's a pleasure to have all of you in this room. Before I get started, we have within us Shri Sridhar Babu Garu, Honorable Minister of IT and EC, Industries and Legislative Affairs. Our Special Chief Secretary Garu, Jayesh Ranjan Garu, he's here. We also have Kavita Garu, Director STPI on the dais, and a bunch of senior colleagues from the industry leaders, academia, people who are receiving awards today. We have within us Professor Junjunjala and Dr. G.N. Rao Garu, who are going to attend Hysea National Annual Summit and Award Ceremony. This is a flagship event that we do every year. And I want to take a moment to reflect what we did today since 8 o'clock this morning. We had a bunch of conversations. What are other technologies that are going to shape AI and how we're going to consume data, information, and drive AI-related interventions in our world? Our quantum compute. We spoke about how GCCs are adapting AI and driving value that much more than what they did before. We also in 50-odd startups that applied to the startup awards that we run usually every year. We have a great shortlist, about 40-odd startups that are available in the Expo Bay that side. About 10 of them are going to get awarded, but I'm really thrilled with the business problem that they're trying to solve. I think it's fantastic that we're all seeing it all today. So Telangana, we had a great reception. Minister Garu was not there, but Sai Garu was there, sir. We all spent some good time yesterday. I think one thing that stood out is we had a cross-section. People have traveled across the globe to be with us. We had some participation from various government agencies and representatives. We had academic participations. We had trade commissionerate from various consulates across UK, US, and a bunch of other people. We had our sponsors there. Some startups who joined us as well, right? So we had a great evening. And one thing that came out is we are here building an ecosystem that we think will last to create meaningful differences. And we are proudly associated to be one part of that association or the ecosystem. We are trying to do our bit to make this change happen. So it's great that we have the 400-odd members that we have today who's part of Hysea members, and also the people that we're talking to today, all being part of this change. And eventually we should be known as change makers, making a change with the redefining technology landscape that are going to come our way. So firstly, that's something that I wanted to emphasize. All of us know about Telangana and Hyderabad, right? So we had phenomenal growth over the last several years in our IT products, services, ER&D industry. We clocked about 2.7 lakh crores of revenue last year. We have about 9.5 lakhs of employees that we have today within the state. I think it's a phenomenal achievement from where we were about 20 years back and what we achieved. All of that could not be possible without us doing something really right. And I think we are trying to do more of this, and thanks to the support that we have, continued support we have from the government and other associations, we are building a great future for us. One thing that I think we all notice today is the world of GCCs and what GCCs are doing. Hyderabad is uniquely positioned, and we've been gathering a lion's share of GCCs in the recent past, and we'll continue to do so. So we'll see a lot of new announcements coming, but I think clearly in our panel that we did this morning, we noticed the value story and what we're trying to drive, and clearly that's going to shape up where we are. While we're doing all of this, I think this can't be achieved without some exceptional people, exceptional forward-thinking enterprises, and world-class infrastructure and skilled talent pool that's existing in our landscape today. We want to further that, enhance that through meaningful interventions, along with all ecosystem partners and the government to make sure that we are ahead of the curve as we make this change and drive this future together. This is a moment today where we are all here today to recognize and celebrate people who have contributed significantly to the ecosystem. So we have here within us companies that have really contributed to either revenue growth, which is exports to the state. We have companies who contributed to employment, which is making sure that we are creating more jobs here, quality jobs. We have some organizations which are setting up GCCs and scaling them. We have a bunch of those people who will be awarded. We also want to disperse and make sure that we're recognizing people who are setting up centers not just in Hyderabad but in tier 2 cities. So we're also recognizing people who are coming from outside of Hyderabad, making that their home, and actually scaling so that we're driving secular growth in remote areas as well, not just in Hyderabad. So that's what we have today. Along with that, we have 10 strong companies who've done exceptionally well startups, so we'll celebrate their awards, as well as a couple of innovations that have come from our own services organization, GCCs, so we're going to incentivize them as well, recognize them that here. Last but not the least, I think, some people make a big difference to the ecosystem. Some of them contributing directly to the city and the state, some of them creating more fundamental changes in where people are trained, skilled, deployed, and we are change agents to make sure that innovation happens, research happens, and industry is adapting research to drive those things. So between us, we have two significant individuals here who contributed to this ecosystem, and we'll be glad to sort of recognize them and make sure that we, for all the hard work that they've done, affecting the state, affecting Hyderabad, and more the country and every individual that's here. So thank you. So it's a moment to celebrate. So I will not stop. Before I move on, I think I wanted to take a minute to say thank you all. Enjoy the moment, and it's going to be a great award ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prashant. And may I now invite Ms. C. Kavita, Director, STPI Hyderabad, to say a few words.
Namaskaram. So, Honorable Minister for IT, ENC, Industries and Commerce and Legislative Affairs, Shri Sridhar Babu Garu, Special Chief Secretary, IT, ENC Department, Government of Telangana, Shri Jayesh Ranjan Garu, President Hysea, Mr. Prashant Garu, and General Secretary of Hysea, Shri Ramakrishna Garu, IT industry captains, ladies and gentlemen, press and media. It is a great honor for Software Technology Parks of India to co-host the 32nd Hysea National Summit and Awards. This year's theme, AI and Beyond, redefining the future technologies such as AI, agentic AI, hyperscalers, quantum computing. This flagship annual event also celebrates the IT industry's exceptional achievements, groundbreaking innovation, and visionary leadership, while also highlighting the global technology powerhouse. Software Technology Parks of India is an autonomous system with an objective of encouraging, promoting the software exports from India. STPI has been working with this distinct single window services and also by offering the STP which were required for the seamless access to offshore IT/ITES exports across India, consisting of 14 jurisdictions. And in Telangana state, has been continuously aligning itself to the industry requirements and is acting both as few of the services are data center services, cloud services, SOC services, consultancy services, etc. STPI has also been nurturing and supporting the innovation and entrepreneurship for more than 3 decades. Innovation facilities. Further, to facilitate companies to implement solutions around digital technologies with the various stakeholders across the country. In line with this, image for gaming, animation, VFX, computer vision, and AI is a flagship initiative. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, and Government of Telangana in collaboration with 10 other partners. So under the Center of Entrepreneurship, startups. Also, during this summit, few of these startups have showcased. Further, to promoting this IT/ITES EHTP industry, STPI has also been implementing various schemes of Government of India, such as the BPO scheme, the Northeast BPO scheme, Next Generation Incubation Scheme, etc. Over the past few years, the Government of India has increased its promoting the product development and the electronics industry. In line with this, the Modified Electronics Manufacturing Cluster Scheme 2.0 was notified by 2020 to develop a robust electronics manufacturing ecosystem. The EMC 2.0 scheme provides financial assistance for setting up of both approved by MeitY for Pan-India. 2 are from Telangana. So one is the EMC project at Mahbub Nagar, and one is the CFC project. Out of the 10 approved projects, only one is a CFC, and that is at T-Works, Meiti. Now coming to the exports, which is the talk of the day. The exports from Telangana from 66,000 crore in 2014-15 to 2.6 lakh crore. Noted that there are around 750 plus IT/ITES exporting units, which is inclusive of 100 plus registered IT/ITES exporting units. And these GCC units have contributed around 38% of the IT/ITES exports from Telangana for the financial year 24. I'm happy to share that the exports for financial year 24 from Telangana is around 16.8% of the national exports and has continued to maintain higher percentage of growth in comparison to the national growth in exports. Tonight, as part of the 32nd Hysea National Summit and Awards, the IT/ITES industry is being recognized for its contribution towards exports and employment during financial year 24. An eminent jury has identified top performing companies for the State Export Awards. Advance congratulations all the stakeholders of the IT industry for their contribution to the nation building. Thank you.
Jayesh Ranjan, IAS Special Chief Secretary, IT ENC Department, Government of Telangana, to please share a few words.
For IT and Industries, Mr. Prashant Nadella, Srimati Kavita Garu, distinguished guests, invitees, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to congratulate Hysea for organizing their 32nd award ceremony and the summit so successfully. I've been here since afternoon, have also attended a few sessions, interacted with participations, and everyone is appreciating the thematic sessions, the level of participation, the quality of discussion. So congratulations to Prashant and your team. But in general, I really appreciate the fact that in Hyderabad, we have an industry association like Hysea. It also makes the job for the government very easy. If you want to discuss with the industry relevant issues like skilling, like infrastructure development, like innovation, like expansion to tier 2, tier 3 cities, because there is an industry body which in a way brings together all the large and mid-scale industry players together on a common platform. It becomes very easy to exchange ideas, tell them what we are planning to do, take suggestions from them, take feedback from them. And this is something which is very unique actually. We have NASSCOM like national associations, CIIs and FICCs, but to have a local and a hyper-local institution which is primarily focused on action from the state, from Hyderabad, it is something which is very advantageous to the government. We have really benefited from this partnership. There are so many past presidents of Hysea who are in the audience. All of them have taken steps to strengthen this institution, and I'm very happy that the current leadership team has followed in the same spirit of collaborating, of partnering. I'm also happy that a very good exhibition has been put together, and I have visited some of the stalls. Some very impressive startups are also present today, and this also gives them a very good chance to meet senior industry leaders, get validation, get feedback about their product. So this is also a very good feature which we should continue in the future national summits and award ceremony also. Today we are honoring various companies which have excelled in the last 1 year by showing
extremely exceptional performance, praiseworthy performance, both product companies and services companies. So in a short while from now, Honorable Minister Sir will be presenting those awards, but congratulations to all of them in advance. And we are also honoring two exceptional people, two legends really, as lifetime achievement awardees. So again, in a matter of a short while, we will get to see them, hear them. But I also feel that Hysea has made a wonderful choice, a very appropriate choice to honor these two legends. I also have been interacting with them since quite some time, and they are really, their contribution is not just important for us here in Telangana, they are national assets, they are global assets. So very happy that they are sharing the stage with all of us today. Once again, many congratulations and good wishes to everyone.
Thank you, sir. And may I now request Chief Guest, Honorable Minister IT and Industry, Government of Telangana, Shri D. Sridhar Babu, to please say a few words.
Andarki Namaskaram, very good evening to all of the days and the leadership from Hysea and all the elders who have contributed their might, their skill, who made this state of Telangana and Hyderabad a key player in terms of IT, and friends on the media. You know, it's an absolute pleasure to be here on this 32nd Hysea National Summit and Awards. This platform reflects the technological achievements, but you know, we have just heard Hysea's President, Mr. Prashant, saying great words about the IT industry making new waves and giving all the credence to the contribution made by the Hysea leaders over here in terms of. Thank you. On the national perspective too, you know, we need more recognition, but still, it shall be some sort of a motivation for us to really see that in Hyderabad, a place where the innovation, where our grey matter still has lots of to be displayed. And on behalf of our IT ministry, you know, our special CS was here participating in most of the deliberations which has been there from since morning. And we are committed. Our ministry is committed. Our government is committed. And in times to come, we want to place the city of Hyderabad and the state of Telangana, where now the world is looking towards India, and especially in terms of the tech front, we would like to be leading from the front, not from the back. So we have, you know, many big players, like I can see J. Chaudhary Garu, who started, who was key player, and I can see, you know, our Rajana Garu over here, the Barini is here, and IIT Madras director and IIT Hyderabad director, all the big players over here, and looking forward for their cooperation in times to come and their coordination in times to come. Our government is absolutely welcoming all the new ideas, new thought, and this is the right time when Hysea, now basically the theme AI and beyond, and redefining the future. When we are all interacting with technology, when technology is offering solutions to complex challenges and human capabilities. I would like to say, it's creating impact in all sectors of our economy. Not only in terms of economy, AI is creating wonders and changes in terms of our individual lives too. So it is broadly impacting in every sector of our governance, where we see where it is impacting in terms of healthcare, primarily into transportation, education, finance, and we are trying to embrace and integrate AI into streams of our agriculture too in the state of Telangana. If you have seen it, PwC estimated AI 15.7 trillion to our global economy by 2030. And if you have literally observed all the players over here who always thinks of technology, in terms of cloud computing, there is lots of potential. The Indian public cloud market is estimated about 24.2 billion by 2028. I would like to mention seeing the global demand and the scope for us to grow. And I can see we are growing our Hyderabad and state of Telangana as a global powerhouse. If we see over the past few decades, we have become world's top 5 outsourcing destinations and one of the fast growing hubs for the global capability centers. We have approximately about 1,500 tech firms, about 1.5 million IT professionals. If we take 20% of it, about 3 lakh AI engineers. With the top chip designing companies over here, over the past 2 decades, we have about 1 lakh chip designers, 6,000 odd startups, and a growth of 13.5% every year. As said by people from the dais, we are delivering about 32 billion IT exports and 5 billion domestic IT output. With this 13% year growth rate driving about 32 billion in IT exports, we are redefining what it means to be a global technology leader. And we are not satisfied. I am not here to say that I am the number one, and Telangana is the number 1 player in terms of exports. We have a vision, we have a dream, and we would like to strive for it. We would like to be number 1 in terms of exports. Maybe people from Bangalore may be thinking that he's too ambitious, but and our government has lots of confidence on our talent. When the talent will take a new turn in terms of this, the turn of the technologies, the emerging technologies taking a stride. Our vision is bold. And I would like to say our ambitions are boundless. And from here I can say that, global major tech firms across semiconductors, pharma, BFSI operates from Hyderabad, delivering cutting-edge technology solutions. But I would like to say this is just the beginning. And our government vision, our Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Revanth Reddy, many times ascribed that we would strive for 1 trillion economy in a decade's time. Yes, we do understand. It's not a very easy task ahead for us to achieve 1 trillion economy. To achieve this, we need to drive 5x growth year on year from our current 186 billion GDP. We must accelerate our growth from 12% to not to 15%, is to 18%. Not, but we would like to say that we are scaling industries on one level, but scaling industries as one part, but building greater capacities in high volume domains like AI, semiconductors, and aerospace, defense, and deep tech innovation. In order to achieve this, to drive this growth strategy, we strongly have to move from our traditional approach. I would like to make an appeal to the leaders who have been doing great contribution for enhancement of the software industry. Now, we have to to move from the traditional approach to more value-driven and innovation-led. Over the past few decades, we have seen the emergence of global capability center, not only in the pure technology fields. We have seen the emergence of GCCs in pharma and recent addition in terms of hospitality industry. Cutting across in different industrial sectors, we have many GCCs which have come. GCCs which we have started, I think many people would agree for it, when it was on the basis of labor arbitrage. Now we have to move from that. Now we have to add value to it. And by positioning ourselves is not our intent. Our intent is to take these GCCs to the next step. Evolving from GCCs, I mean to say the global capability centers, to global value centers. All these global capability centers has to become, has to move, has to change their approach to become global value centers. This shift from GCCs to GVCs definitely represents a new era for Telangana, one where we move from being vendor to value partner, from service delivery to value creation, from execution to innovation, and from operational hubs to centers of strategic value. So from this, we would like to say that we can become indispensable to the future of our technology. And GVCs will anchor Telangana in the global value chain, driving intellectual property creation, deep tech innovation, and high value development. If elders would have observed, our patents is very minimal, and we stand, India on the global front stand, on the lower edge of that patent registration. We have to move from there now. And what I mean to say, every time we say, recently during the tour to Davos, our Chief Minister was just mentioning this point. All these years, we were trying to export the dough to get the bread on a high value. Now its time has come, the bread has to be produced from here, and we have to export the finished product from here rather than the finished product come from the Western nations. This is our perspective, this is our goal, this is our vision for the future. I would like to say that where we are not able to really show our intellectual footprint, now time has come to show and reflect our intellectual footprint, which is strong, which is vibrant, and which can enhance our global innovation index. And we also have to strive for world-class research and development capabilities here. And the recent advanced AI breakthroughs, semiconductor innovations, and deep tech solutions, not just developed in Telangana, I would like to mention here is they are defined here. This year, as the theme goes by, is apt and more relevant. I would like to mention here is AI is no longer an emerging technology. It is at the core of the industrial revolution. It is reshaping our economies. It is reshaping our industries. It is reshaping our governance too. I would like to mention here is now when China with a very less or a low investment can create and can disrupt technologies or fab, and recently everybody would have seen how one disruption has taken place and shocked whole world. Likewise, we have a talent here, we have skill here, and the government is here to see that for all this 1.5 million people who would be reshaping our economy, and see that we can always do and create niche technologies in each front. Our focus is not just for the investments or generating employment, even though it's the primary concern of our state, but we are looking beyond. We would like to see that the AI and emerging technologies should benefit the common man and every citizen of Telangana. Ultimately, we would like to cut across and spread across, seeing that this technology should be helpful to each and every humankind. And we are leading AI adoption in terms of, we are coming up with absolute dedicated AI city. And people over here in Hyderabad have just seen, we just didn't hold ourselves by declaring a skills university. We have already established by statute Young India Skills University, wherein the skills become in times to come. We would like to, put Hyderabad economy as the skills capital. That's the real reason we have already started our Young India Skills University. And we have launched AI Center of Excellence. And we have created open data integrating AI-driven governance. And we have appointed AI officers across our sectors of governance. As I had said earlier, from agriculture to healthcare, education to governance, our commitment to ensure empower citizens, supports farmers, strengthen small businesses, is also for students. Everybody fears that AI will replace jobs. To a certain extent, it's true. But we see differently, AI will become a catalyst for an opportunity. With 3 lakh AI engineers ready in Telangana, we are not just building the next generation of AI-driven products. We are investing in training about 1 lakh more professionals to secure high-value jobs in a digital-first world. Our vision, our journey, is to make Hyderabad a nerve center for the global tech revolution. With Telangana pro-businesses policies, skilled workforce existing, and trying to create the great database for all the skill force required for the global industry, an innovation-first approach, we are establishing Hyderabad as a global hub also for semiconductors and also for our deep tech solutions. But we're not stopping here. Our journey ahead is ambitious. Our direction is clear. I would like to mention is Hyderabad is not just an IT hub. It shall become the nerve center for the India's technological revolution. And we mentioned the same before the world leaders in our recent visit to Davos, where with all your support, with the confidence eluded in us, we could able to sign about 1.8 lakh crore MOUs in the international forum. Last year, when we made an entry, we have signed about 45,000 crores. And in that 45,000 crores of MOUs what we made, we had seen that 80% are very active in their investment. And this shows our commitment. This commitment of mine, this commitment of our Chief Minister, this commitment of our colleagues, and this commitment of our officers who are working for the state has literally put trust, confidence among the investors who are coming all the way down here to our state of Telangana, who have again showed, and it is a fourfold increase in terms of our investment when we came back. And I would like to happily mention here that tomorrow, we are also concentrating to make Hyderabad a hub for the data centers. We have concluded MOUs with the major leaders of data centers, cornering about 60 to 70,000 crores in terms of data centers. And when we made an appeal to a couple of leaders in terms of data center to concentrate in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, they have shown proactive interest. And the government concentration is not only about Hyderabad. The government concentration is also to see that equally many Hyderabad should come. Maybe it's 2-tier cities should become. We have the talent pool over there in tier 2, tier 3 cities too, where all the major organizations can come and put their shops over there, see that the talent be absorbed. It shall be the win-win situation for our organization to grow and the regions to be developed in terms of the employment, in terms of investment. This is the appeal that we made to people all around, and which has shown the dividends. And we shall see that equally the tier 2, tier 3 cities also will be developed on the equal plane. This is my appeal to all the Hysea leaders who are sitting over here, including the President Prashant and all other team members who keeps meeting me time and again. I make this appeal, and this is our focus. I would like to mention one more point. We have entered into agreement with a major corporation from Switzerland. This is not in terms of, AI. We mentioned about the machine learning. We mentioned about the cloud computing. We mentioned about the data analytics. We mentioned about the cyber security. Next, the world is looking for a cutting edge, and also I would like to say that the bleeding edge technology, the quantum computing. We are emphasizing that we need to have a center of excellence in terms of this quantum computing. And recent visit to the Switzerland and a recent visit of our team to Quantum Basel, we made an agreement with the Quantum Basel to have a center of excellence over here to move into the next future technology. Our focus is to see that we always lead in the front rather than ape somebody. With these few words, I would like to really thank the organizers of Hysea, who have, over the past few decades, have making great contribution to see that Hyderabad, over a period of time, has seen the light of the day in terms of our pure information technology and ITES. I would like to congratulate them. I would like to thank on behalf of our government. And when Hysea, in this 32nd, is honoring many dignitaries like G.N. Rao Garu, who is contributing to our society by establishing a world-class eye hospital catering to the poorest of the poor. IIT Madras and all other elders. I congratulate all who are getting the award and all the participants over here who are a part and parcel, who would like to collaborate in a much bigger way, and we would like to see that each and every, either it may be a small or a big suggestion given by the platforms like this would be welcome from our ministry. And I would like to once again thank the dignitaries and me here for being the part of this great evening. Thank you one and all.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. We now move towards the unveiling of Hysea Scale at Hyderabad report in Global Technology Destination Report by Hysea, KPMG, AON, and CBRE. Ladies and gentlemen, we are excited to launch the latest edition of Hysea's flagship report, Hysea Scale at Hyderabad, Global Technology Destination, which is in collaboration with the Government of Telangana and KPMG. May I please request Isaac Rajkumar, Executive Committee Member, Hysea, and MD Real Page, to please come on stage and share few details and the need for the report.
So good evening, and thank you all for joining. So in 2019, Hysea came out with the first Hyderabad report. The report was very well received, and it served the industry quite a bit in terms of articulating what the industry is about. Now we are very happy to come out with a version of the report, Scale at Hyderabad. And it is filled with data, insights, information, and testimonials from various stakeholders. Now, what else does the report contain? Domains and the whole ecosystem, the different companies and different services and offerings And not only that, it also talks about the infrastructure, the partnership with the government, and the policy support that is received, and the all-around ecosystem that is available for us. So the intent of this report is so that it is available for the industry, many of the organizations that have setups in Hyderabad, to be able to talk about in a very consistent and current way of what is going on. And the organizations that continue to scale in the city, their existing setups, have a consistent and a good information, the latest information, talk about what is going on to internal stakeholders. And for organizations that are considering setting up new centers in Hyderabad, whether maybe it is a second location within India, or for ground up considering setting up their location and a center in India, considering Hyderabad as a favorable destination for the technology purposes. For all of these sake, this new report will be very much valuable. So at this point of time, I also want to say that the report would not have been possible without the close partnership and input from the government. and with contributions and preparation done with help of KPMG and AION and CBRE, who are partners along with them. So at this moment, I would like to welcome Karthik Ramakrishnan, who is KPMG partner, to share a few insights from the report.
Thank you very much, Isaac. It's been such a great privilege for us at KPMG to work with, once again, with Hysea for the second edition of this report. The Telangana government, the IT Minister Garu and Jayesh Ranjanji, who took personal interest and gave us a lot of inputs. And I thought I'd highlight some key takeaways from the report that were eye-opening for me personally. And I'd really want you to download a copy of the report. You'll see the QR code at some point, and there'll be some handouts as well. The city of Hyderabad has the best quality of life. This is a ranking that is a published ranking. It has one of the lowest costs of living among Indian metros. It is high on greenery, and it is in the top 3 safe cities list in India. Hyderabad is home to 20% of all GCCs across India as on today. But the most important thing to note is that 70 new GCCs, or it is a majority percentage of the GCCs that were set up in the country, 70 new GCCs were set up last year, in 2024 alone. There's more than 2,000 startups, and there's a whole enabling ecosystem of 70+ incubators that's available. Some of the largest services campuses are in Hyderabad today. We spoke about that. Prashant highlighted that yesterday as well. Specialized talent, about 96% of the leaders said that specialized talent, access to specialized talent is there. It is accessible. 95% of the leaders said that the local government is very effective in fostering a conducive business environment. That's a hat tip to you. Thank you. But the 2 best things that I took away from the industry survey that we took as part of this report. Number 1, if they had the chance to, based leaders would set up in Hyderabad all over again, starting from a clean slate. By the way, 6% were neutral as far as the survey goes. So I'd really say 98% want to set up in Hyderabad. The second key takeaway is we asked if Hyderabad is future ready. 100% have a lot more insights in the report. Please do download it. We earnestly hope, and I speak on behalf of my colleagues at CBRE and AION as well, we earnestly hope that our report plays a small role in attracting more good things to our city, be it good investments, more business, greater talent, better infrastructure, or a better quality of life, which, as we know, is great in Hyderabad right now. I'm going to keep this short, but I'd like to end with a paragraph that I found in a book just over the weekend in a bookstore. It's called Beyond Biryani by a gentleman named Dinesh Sharma. And there was a line at the back that really caught my attention that I loved, that I'd like to share with you as well. It goes something like this. Every time you key in a word to search on Google, every time you launch a Microsoft product on your device, every time you click on Amazon to buy a product, post a picture on Facebook, book an airline ticket on a travel website, use a map to navigate through city traffic, every time you take a taxi ride using Uber or Ola, make a financial transaction through an app or a bank, you're most likely being touched by technology from Hyderabad. We wish our wonderful city of Hyderabad, its current and future leaders, all of us, the very best as we look forward to the next 5 years of growth, sustainable growth. Thank you very much. Back to you, Isaac.
Thank you, Karthik. At this moment, I'd like to invite representatives from CBRE and AION also to the stage, Mr. Gibson and Mr. Vinod. And we'll go ahead with unveiling of the report at this time. Just So the report is at this point in time available for a free download. The full report, right? I think the full report is available. It is very colorful and you can download it from Hysea website. I think many of you by now would have received the trifold that was distributed at this point of time. This is an abridged version of the report and you would see a QR code at the back of it and you can download from that link.
General Secretary Hysea to introduce our lifetime mission to the world.
Good evening, everyone. I take privilege in introducing our first Lifetime Achievement Awardee. And it's been presented to Padma Shri Dr. Gullapalli Nageshwar Rao Garu for his remarkable legacy of advancing innovation and technology in the service of humanity. This award recognizes Dr. Rao's extraordinary contributions to ophthalmology and his pioneering efforts in transforming eye care in India, making quality vision care. His unwavering commitment to leveraging technology, fostering research, and driving innovation. At LV Prasad Eye Institute, his leadership in technological innovation and product development has not only revolutionized the field, but also set a benchmark for affordable, high-quality healthcare. By significantly reducing the cost of eye care and ensuring access for all, regardless of the geographic or economic barriers, he has created a lasting impact on the public health and healthcare equity. Visionary leadership and groundbreaking contributions has inspired generations of healthcare and transformed the future of eye care, embodying the true spirit of innovation for humanity.
Sridhar Babu Garu, Special Chief Secretary of IT, Sri Jayesh Ranjan Garu, Prashant Garu, and Kavita Garu. And all the members. I feel very honored by this award today, because my knowledge from Hysea is indeed very special. Thank you so much for that. Of your hard work, all the way from simple electronic medical records, AI, ML, data analytics, etc. And all that we want to see is that through all the technologies, by combining technology with talent, and in case of healthcare, maybe tenderness, the 3 T's, we would like to reach out to everybody that is in need of a proper healthcare. What we look at is quality and reach. And in both these situations, the usage of technology is of paramount importance. So for providing all those tools for us, and making our job easier, people in the field of technology. We continue to face the challenges of reaching out to everybody in the remotest rural and tribal areas of our country and the rest of the world. If technology, this gap can be covered, we would have achieved a lot. So I hope that in the not too distant future, the innovations and the products that come out of the HICC. Again, thank you very much for considering me for this honor. I feel very privileged.
Thank you, Dr. Rao Garu, for honoring this. And the next one is the Hysea presented to Professor Ashok Jhunjhunwala for his pioneering and unparalleled contributions to. Professor Jhunjhunwala laid the foundation for structured industry academia engagement in India as early as the adopted model. His groundbreaking efforts led to establishment of IIT Madras Research Park, a pioneering ecosystem that brings together academia, startups, and large corporations under one roof. Million square feet innovation hub facilitates deep research partnerships, industry-funded projects, technologies. A true entrepreneur at heart, Professor Jhunjhunwala spearheaded one of the at IIT Madras, fostering grassroots innovation and social entrepreneurship. His contributions to telecommunications are equally transformative. His work on wireless in local loop revolutionized telephony, enabling affordable communication access across India and other developing nations. Professor Jhunjhunwala's impact on as a founder chairman of the Mobile Payment Forum of India, he laid the groundwork for mobile-based financial transactions, playing a crucial role in journey that ultimately led to the development of UPI, which has now become the backbone of India's digital economy.
Thank you. Such an honor. The association, the minister, the secretary, and all of you. I never expected that Hyderabad will call me all the way from Chennai and give me this award. I remember coming to this city 50 years back, 51 years back, in fact. There were two things to see. One was Salarjung Museum, another was ECIL Hyderabad. I was in IIT Kanpur as a student, we had come and we had gone to ECIL Hyderabad. Nobody could imagine that this will become the IT capital. 25 to 30 years back, suddenly it was felt that Hyderabad will change. Hyderabad will get this IT city. And what has happened in 30 years, and I'm sure Hysea has played a major role. I think all of us are seeing that. It has been enough described. At the same time, Hyderabad did not even have great, well-known institutes at that time. And an institute was set up called IIIT Hyderabad. This institute was, of course, supported by the government, but it is not. It is actually an independent university, independent institute. It has to find its own funds, and neither gets, unlike IITs and all that, which get handsome grants from Government of India, it stands on its own feet. And the important thing is, it is in the middle of the city, in the middle of both financial districts and also in where your IT industry stays. So, and it has become the top institute. It is now considered, it is on par, in fact, in many ways better than many of the IITs. And in the future journey that you described it today, Jayesh has been talking about it, but about a year and a half back when I took over the chairman, the first of IIIT Hyderabad, the first thing that I said that we have to serve Hyderabad and Telangana and have to make this state the leading state in not just IT services and global competency center, but IT product, IT innovation, and IT startups. And this is exactly what your dream is. And IIIT Hyderabad has dedicated itself to this. One of the first things that it did was sort of saying that the industry, academia, and everybody and all the youngsters need to meet together very often. Tech forward, which is now being held between industry and academia. That should really be. The second thing that I told IIIT Hyderabad, that you are in the middle of financial districts and IT city. You have to become the upskilling center for all the 1.5 million youngsters or more. On their own, with the industry, they will learn. But what we really need to do is drive them, all the industries, and drive innovation and startups. I also said that we need to have far more industry to export products from here. This is what we are committed to. And I think we have enough talent. Why something cannot be achieved. Even in 4 to 5 years, we have to set up the ground rules. IIIT Hyderabad is not governed by the central government. While Jayesh and others are giving a lot of support, but still it's an independent entity. Should own. And all of you should get involved in the governance of that institute. It is not owned by any particular industry. It should be a model of independent institutes which can touch the sky. And I think independent institutes, when they touch the sky, IIIT Hyderabad should lead that, and many other institutes like playing that role. There are other institutes which will follow that. And I'm really hopeful that the dreams that you have set up is really something that we can achieve. Thank
you so much, sir. Thank you. And now we move to the annual awards ceremony for business performance, innovation, and startup awards. To present the first set of awards, may I please invite VP Hysea and General Manager FLAI to please announce the first set of awards.
Good evening to dignitaries on dais and all the friends from the industry. As all of you know, Hysea has been 30 plus years doing what we call as the service awards and product awards. And when we talk about service awards, as all of you had seen, our membership portfolio goes all this range from a young startup as annual revenues runs into tens of thousands of crores, correct? So therefore, we have multiple categories. We look at categories in terms of, up to 50 crores, up to 500 crores, up to 5,000 crores, and way beyond 5,000 crores as well. So typically, we have a small committee which reviews the data, which is compiled. Definitely, year on year, we've been getting phenomenal amount of support from both the SCG and SCPI teams to help, invite some of our member companies and to come and receive the awards. Very, very large in Hyderabad ecosystem for the last many, many years, Infosys and TCS. I would like to request Raghu from Infosys to come. like to request Rajana and the TCS team to come and receive the award on behalf of TCS, please. Yeah. So these Infosys and TCS were the ones who had the high. We would also like to recognize and award Cognizant, which has shown the highest growth rate for the previous financial year. Can I request Ravi Kuch? Now move to the next category, which is the GCC category, and we would love to. Can I request Ashish Babbar from Microsoft? Yeah. Ram Macharaju from Salesforce to come closer to the dais, please. In the next category of revenue, we would like to honor both Genpact and Deloitte. Can I request Sriram from Genpact? Can I also request Viraj from Deloitte to come closer to the dais? Viraj and Ram from Deloitte. In this category again, we would like to recognize Kyndryl for showing the highest growth rate during the year. Can I invite Rajita from Kyndryl to come over, please? Rajita and the Kyndryl team, please. Can I request Sharath from LSI to come over, please? We'd also like to recognize Telstra, which has shown the highest employment growth. Kishore and team from Telstra, please. Telstra team, yeah. And finally, we'd also like to recognize Eclat Health Services for the highest revenue from the Tier 2, Tier 3 locations. Can I request Srikanth from Eclat to come and receive the award? The next category of awards will be the products and the innovation. My colleague Raj will walk you through those awards, please.
Last and final award ceremony. Before I start announcing, I'd like to thank the entire jury team because we went through a very rigorous process. I'm not going to take 250 plus applications. We shortlisted from 250 to 70 and from 70 to 40. And the 40 of the booths that were present here were evaluated by 35 different jury members, out of which is what we are going to make the announcement. And as the minister, please come forward and receive the award. First one, Boeing Hypervise.ai, company name Eternal Robotics Private. A fantastic organization which offers tailored AI solution for businesses, enhancing safety, productivity, and quality control through features like surveillance, action recognition, hyperline technologies. I request them to please come towards the stage. Hyperline, please come forward. The next company being MRRX, SIINV Biosciences Private Limited. The fourth company, request you to please come forward, Catalyst OT Platform for Solar Farms, Exceed.io Private Limited. I think the startup should be really aggressive and coming forward to receive the award, please. Fifth on the list being Embryo Quality Assessment, company name Aspire Tutor Private Limited. I request now Starbuzz.ai, company name Krisvita Private Limited. Avika Mind Health, Ropana Digital Private Limited. Next one being Cliniv Health Tech. Come on, guys. Also, I request the award recipients to be near the stage for a quick group photo, please. Next company is Rava.ai. And last but not the least, I really take the privilege of calling this gentleman 19-year-old guy running a very, very successful enterprise for the differently abled and all. I invite Navneet Alien Innovations. I call upon the jury members, please come forward so that we can have a picture. With that, please. Again, I request really a big round of applause. Here's a 19-year-old who is really doing a great wonders across the startup ecosystem. He also was a recipient of the top 10 UN recognized organizations. So request all the jury members please stand for a group photograph. And also as a special jury award, because we could not fit in any of the category, it goes to Tinker on Wheels. If some of you had the opportunity to go outside and look at this particular Tinker on Wheels, it's a great. With that, I request Tinker All team to come on stage. Enterprise? Oh no, I'll do it.
కార్పొరేట్ నేను చేశాను కార్పొరేటా ఈ యుద్ధ కార్పొరేట్ ఇన్నోవేషన్ చేయండి మరి. So we have another category which is Hysea Corporate Innovation Awards. The first one goes to Scientific Frontier AI Data Foundry. And the next one goes to the Pega Gen AI Blueprint. Can I request Pega team also to be ready? And the last but not the least, it goes to DBS DigiBot, the next gen chatbot, which is from DBS Tech India.
No, good. Okay, we are done. You announced all three, right? Yeah. So the sequence. Yeah. That's right. All of them. Everyone takes here, but stay there. Now start up on the stage to get a group photo with the startup. Sushant is MCEC and then he's running out of time. May I now request the Hysea, EC and to join on the stage for a group photo, please. They're all here, that's why I'm saying. MCEC has come. MCEC has come. We'll do the startup. Can I request the Hysea EC and members onto the stage, please?
Can we also have Mano Reddy Garu? Please join us on stage, sponsor from Fuji. Bawar Pavan, if you're around. Pankaj from NIIT, please join us, please.
Thank you so much. And may I now, can I have the mementos for Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, please, for the guest of honor, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan. Can we please have the mementos on stage? And may I request President Hysea, Mr. Prashant Nandela, to felicitate Mr. Jayesh. And the mementos.
Jayesh has to just leave, Tarusha.
Okay, so then can we please request you to present the mementos, memento to Minister, sir? Yeah. Please go. On behalf of the entire team of Hysea, we thank you for your time and presence at this event. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us here today. We're doing the vote of thanks. Should I announce? And may I now request Mr. Ramakrishna Lingi Reddy, General Secretary, Hysea, to give the vote of thanks. Mr. Ramakrishna Lingi Reddy.
So before we get to the vote of thanks, I wanted to call a few gentlemen on stage to get a picture with the Minister Garu. Bharni Garu, Rajana Garu, Jaya Garu, Ramesh Loganathan, Sai Krishna Garu, Shrikant Lanka Garu, PJN Garu, please. Please join us. Yeah, come. Vishnu Garu, please. Sai Garu, please. Please join us on stage. Bipin, Manohar Reddy Garu, Bipin, Jay Garu.
Among all the, I think there's a video here.
Stop this.